Hi Rachel and Matt here from BeautyBeast over here with our second video today. So this video we're actually doing was requested from a client of mine, so Siobhan, well done. We're doing this one for you today. So this is a question I always get asked from clients is how do we get protein in? I can't seem to get enough protein in. So today we're talking about protein, kind of what it is, and how we can get it in our diet as well. We'll also talk about our requirements. So firstly, what is protein? So a quick little few words on it is, it's a nutrient like fat and carbohydrates that we need to get in through our diet. What's it for? What's its function in the body? It's growth and repair. So we're just for normal hair growth, skin, muscle, all those kind of things. It's also going to play a role in fat burning. So we'll go into a bit of these as we go. Alright? Okay, so how much protein do we need? So really what it goes by is our activity levels, so whether we train or not, and by our body weight. So we'll start off with non-trained individuals. So sedentary people who might not do very much at all. So according to the American College of Surgeons, they say that we need 0.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, or else this is 0.36 per pound. So if we were to take a 75 kilo individual, so about 165 pounds, they're going to be recommended to have about at least 60 grams per day. So that might not seem like very much, but they're not going to need as much as someone who's going to train, who'll be breaking down tissues and needing to be building them up again. So for sedentary female, we say about average is 46 grams, and for a sedentary male, it's going to be about 56 grams. Alright, so we'll move on now to active individuals.
So requirements for a trained individual are completely different to somebody who doesn't lift. For increased muscle mass, you're going to be looking for anything from 1.2 to 3.6 grams per kilo of body weight, or from 0.5 to 2 grams per pound of body weight. So how that would look, for an example, a 75 kilo person, which is what we're working off, between 75 grams and 270, compared to sedentary, which is only 60 grams. Might seem like a really big variance in how much protein they're getting in for different individuals, but it's really big differences in goals and gender, body weight, everything. So for an example, a female training 3 times a week to stay in shape, look good, they're not going to need anywhere near the same amount as a competitive bodybuilder who's going to train 6 days a week.
So you can see how this is where the variance might come in. So for that 75 kilo female, we might start off at the lower end, and if we're finding that she's not really hitting her goals, we might decide to increase her protein that little bit more. It'll work the same way with the male as well. If he's not building enough muscle, well then we might kind of say we'll increase his intake as well, and then we play it by ear from there.
So now that you know why you need protein, we're going to talk about the best ways to get it. It's a question I think both of us get off every single client. Where do you get all this protein from? So we're going to discuss a couple of the sources, why they are the best sources. Main reason being how saturated they are in essential amino acids. These are like the building blocks of protein. Anything from valine, isovaline,
histidine, threonine, phenylalanine, valine, isoleucine, leucine.
Yeah, lysine, I think we pretty much got all of them. There's about 9 of them. Basically stuff with the highest biological value. Egg being the highest biological value pretty much out of anything. Contains all of them.
Yeah. So when we talk about biological value of protein, it's the number of these amino acids. So eggs would actually have all of them. So it would be considered the best value of protein. So then there is a bit of a pyramid that works down from that. So eggs being at the top, it's going to be followed by your meats. Then we're moving into dairy. We have our nuts.
Don't forget fish.
Oh, we have to do fish as well. Sorry.
Fish important.
Our peas, beans, lentils then would be at the lower end. They would still provide us with some protein as well.
And then we would also get them from sources like nuts and things. But we do mention beans, things like soya beans you will get protein from. But a lot of studies backing up that barely any use for building muscles, especially not for men.
Okay, so we might kind of then, that's where supplementation might come in, but we'll talk on that in a few moments.
So how do we introduce protein into the diet? The way you're looking, for every gram, you're looking at 4 calories. Now this is an example. For 25 grams of protein, gets you 100 calories. Now in an untrained individual weighing 70 kilo, you're looking at 0.8 of a gram per kilo of body weight, equaling out to 56 grams in a day. It's 224 calories.
So if you were then to take someone who's 70 kilos, if they trained about 3 times per week, we're looking at the lower end of a trained requirement. So that's about 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight, which would equate to 84 grams, which is 336 calories. The same, 70 kilo person might train about 5 times a week. Is going to have a higher requirement again. We'll put them at the upper end to be 1.7 kilos, 1.7 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So that would put them at 119 grams of protein per day, which would then be 476 calories.
Now, in the same way, if we're talking about a competitive bodybuilder around 70 kilo, they'd probably be about 3.6 grams per kilo of body weight. So you will be looking at about 252 grams a day, which is over 1,000 calories, about 1,008. Now, I mean, that's where you do see the big difference between different athletes needing a different amount. I mean, what was that thing you said earlier?
Oh, it's the, like even if you just look at someone who trains and is at the higher end, that their calories their protein requirement is over double that of someone who's sedentary anyway. So you can already see that by just doing any kind of activity, you're already going to be at a much higher requirement of protein than someone who doesn't train. And that's purely because with training, no matter what it is that you do, you are going to be tearing down muscle fibres, putting stress in the body, and then we do need that the building blocks, the protein, to then build up those fibres again. So that's why we do have different requirements there. So one of the biggest questions I always get asked from clients in relation to their diet is how they can get protein in to each meal with different variations. So the different sources that we listed earlier in relation to meat and all that, we're now going to flash up a sample plan. Now this plan isn't endorsing any particular diet practice like low carb, high carb or anything like that. What it simply is doing is listing the different sources of protein you can get in at each meal, and I've also just added up what amount of grams that equates to. The sample is done on a 70 kilo individual who trains 5 days a week, so it'll be at the upper end, and we calculated this would be 119 grams. So you'll just see at the end of each meal, and then at the very end, what the total of protein that day was. And you'll just see how easily, with all these different sources of protein, how easy it is to get those all in a simple.
Protein burns fat. You're probably wondering, how does this work and when's it going to give you abs? Well, look, not going to lie, it's not going to magically give you abs from eating a chicken breast. It's just not going to happen. The way it works, higher protein helps burning fat by increasing your metabolic rate, because it's harder for your body to digest. It takes more out of you to do it. Also helps keep you fuller for longer, so it'll help you keep you on track for whatever diet you're using to burn fat. And as well, it does help with maintaining blood sugar levels. So insulin sensitivity stays lower, eating carbs can have less of an impact. Overall, it will just help you burn fat, and there's a thermic effect of it, so it does increase your body temperature to make you burn more fat.
So that concludes our video on protein, its individual requirements, and how we also get it in through our diet. So firstly, I just want to say thanks to Siobhan. She was the one who came up with this idea for us. And again, we do want people to comment below in our comments, any of our social networking sites, just to give us new ideas on the next video to do.
Yeah, so just tell us what you want. If there's something you need knowledge on and don't know where to turn, ask us. Between our 8 years experience between the two of us, we probably can cover the topic. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe every piece of BeautyBeast you see on the internet. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, like our individual Facebooks and the BeautyBeast Facebook. And like and share this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, see ya.